Hello everybody and welcome back to this tutorial. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to cover two different tools for information gathering. One of them is the Dnsdumpster and the other one is OSINT framework. Now both of those tools actually are located online, so we're going to navigate to our Firefox right here. And first of all, we're going to cover the Dnsdumpster tool. So just type here Dnsdumpster. It will search it up. It should be the first or second thing. As we can see, here it is, Dnsdumpster.com. Dnsdumpster.com allows us to do is find the passive information about a certain host. So for example, if you are interested in, for example, the IP address of facebook.com, you can simply just type right here ping facebook.com, and what this will do is it will return the IP address of Facebook domain to you. As soon as it pings it, it will type right here the IP address of facebook.com. So the IP address of Facebook is 31.13.84.36. But the way that we actually got the IP address is considered to be the active information gathering, because we actually had to send some packets to the actual host in order to retrieve back the IP address from that host. But let's see how we can actually get the IP address from this certain host without even pinging it or without interacting with it at all. That's why we can use the Dnsdumpster. So let us just click on the Dnsdumpster.com, click on that link, and it should open us this simple website right here, which only thing it asks you to do is input the actual domain. As we can see, DNS recon, research, find, lookup, DNS records. So we're going to just type right here some random website. So let's just go with the udemy.com and click on search right here. It is going to search everything up and it is going to prompt us with the results from the scan. As we can see right here, here are the results from the scan. Hosting IP block owners, we can see that it is mostly hosted in the United States. Let me just see right here. Yeah, it is on the Cloudflare. This is the geo IP of host location, so this is the location of our host. The DNS servers, we can see they are Cloudflare. We can also see the IP addresses. Let us navigate right here to the MX records, TXT records, and here are the A records, which is basically the IP addresses of the domains. So we were able to gather the IP address without even pinging or sending any type of packets to the host. We did it through the actual proxy, which is this Dnsdumpster right here. So what we actually did is we told Dnsdumpster to actually, for example, ping the udemy.com and retrieve the information back to us. Therefore, the udemy.com doesn't have any records of us actually interacting with its website. Okay, so right here you have the IP addresses, which are the A records. So you can see right here, host records, and in the brackets specified A. Let us go down here. Let me just see. There are a bunch of A records. So if we navigate all the way down, we can see a map of the actual domain. So you can just click on it. It will enlarge itself and you can see the udemy.com, which is the website that we searched. It is split into three different lines. First one is the DNS records, the A records, and the third one is the MX records. Okay, so if you simply just go to the A records, you can simply just find the email.udemy.com, which is running on Apache. So we do get some kind of information right here, while as the DNS records, or pardon me, the Cloudflare is running on the, let me just see right here, where is the IP address that we found? I believe it is this one, so 104.16.91.52. We can see it is running on Cloudflare. We also get some of the MX records right here. So this is something that you can actually save in your folder of penetration test, and you can use it later on if you, for example, need something from here. So this is some useful information. For example, knowing that this is run on Apache and this is run on a Cloudflare is actually useful, as well as finding out the actual IP address without ever interacting with the target host. For big websites like this, even pinging them doesn't really matter. So this is just an actual example of how you can get the IP address without actually interacting with the host. But it doesn't really matter if in a real penetration test, for example, let's say Udemy hired you to perform the penetration test for them, you can actually perform the ping request to them. It will not be anything illegal or anything that they will even notice, because there are probably thousands of people performing the same thing every single day. But if you, for example, need to perform a penetration test on a smaller website that is not yet visited, you can simply just bypass the network administrators by simply using Dnsdumpster or something like that. As we can see, the IP addresses do match, so we can see 104.16.92.52. Okay, so 104.16, but the actual problem right here is that I'm getting 91, and here it is 92, but it doesn't even matter. There are probably more hosts hosting udemy.com. Therefore, this is just a range of IP addresses that probably belong to Udemy. Okay, so here both the .91.52 belong to Udemy and both .92.52 belong to Udemy. Okay, so this is one of the tools that I wanted to show you. If you want to, you can save this image somewhere for later purposes, but if you're performing a real penetration test, of course. But now on, since this is just for educational purposes and this is just an example, I will not be saving this. I will just go navigate to the Open tab and type here OSINT framework, which is our second tool that we're going to cover. Let me just go right here. This is the first link that we actually click right here, and this is a good tool that basically uses search engines to find information online. Now, if you just type OSINT framework, it should come up with this. Some of the tools in this OSINT framework are actually a little bit outdated, and they actually might give you a false output or a false positive, but most of them are actually useful. As we can see, there are a bunch of them. I will leave up to you to experiment with them. We can simply just go with, for example, let's say IP addresses, and let's say we want to go to the geolocation, IP location finder, doesn't even matter. You can simply just check any simple tool out of here that you want. We simply went with this one. As we can see, my public IP address is this one, and we can see the actual location to that public IP address. Okay, so don't worry, my public IP address will change. That's why I actually am leaving it out in this video. So it will not present any problem to me if any of you actually see it. But let's say with the Udemy IP address, if we simply just copy it, we go to the actual page, we paste it right here, IP lookup. Let's see what kind of information are we going to get. So we can see it performed the results, and we can see it is located in the United States city, San Francisco. This is the latitude and longitude, organization, Cloudflare. We can see right here it actually does perform the results with 3 different things. As we can see, DBIP, IPinfo.io, and IP2 location. Okay, so if you want to, you can check out all of the other things as well. We're not really going to bother doing that right now. We are going to go straight into scanning in the next lecture. So we're going to define what scanning is. We're going to define a network and all the parts of a network. And after it, we're going to go and actually learn the Nmap tool to the most detail that we can, because it is really important to actually know that tool really well. So hope you enjoyed this lecture, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye.